Well, we've been hearing it and reading it for months now. U.S. President Donald Trump repeatedly saying Canada should become the 51st state, and that's put some Canadians on edge.
A lot of people in Canada are liking becoming our beautiful, cherished 51st state. They'll have to pay much lower taxes. They'll have the ultimate security.
Most people believe that the U.S. could effortlessly take over Canada if it wanted to. After all, it has the world's most powerful military at 1.1 million active duty personnel, a population that is 750% larger, and an economy nearly 10 times that of its northern neighbor. Believe it or not, the United States has attempted to invade Canada several times in the past, with each effort ending in failure. But why is this different from other countries taking land? China claiming Taiwan, Russia taking Crimea. If powerful nations can expand their borders, why hasn't the U.S. taken Canada? And what's stopping them? The answer is far more complicated than you may think. Let's break it down. Despite what Trump believes, the U.S. can't straight up annex Canada. And let's face it, neither country really wants that. In a 2025 survey, 80% of respondents said they would never vote for Canada to become part of the United States. However, 22% said that if Quebec or Alberta chose to be independent through a referendum, they would vote for their province to become part of the United States. Additionally, 30% said that if the United States offered all Canadians full U.S. citizenship and full conversion of the Canadian dollar and all personal financial assets into U.S. dollars, they would vote for Canada to become part of the United States. Where the concern comes for many Canadians is the question of could America take over if they chose to? And if they did, what would this look like? Trump came out hot as soon as he entered office. This year, he cracked down on illegal immigration, said he wants to acquire Greenland and the Panama Canal, and place tariffs on major trade partners like China and Canada. Already, there's been some retaliation, particularly from Canada, who have unveiled tariffs on their $107 billion of U.S. imports, starting with $21 billion of imports immediately. To many, this seems like the start of a deepening conflict between the two nations. If this is the case, could this mean a takeover is more likely? Most Canadians know that any talk of annexation is most likely unrealistic. Canada is a sovereign nation with its own government, laws, and distinct national identity. Unlike Germany's annexation of Austria in 1938, known as the Anschluss, characterized by a campaign in which Nazi Germany under Adolf Hitler sought to unify all German-speaking people under one regime, exploiting cultural and linguistic ties to support their expansionist agenda. The situation in North America differs significantly. There has never been a similar movement in the U.S. aimed at absorbing Canada through coercion or intimidation. Any attempt by the United States to annex Canada would breach international law, including the UN Charter, which safeguards the territorial integrity of sovereign nations. Canada has been a self-governing dominion since 1867 and gradually gained complete independence from British control through various legal steps in the 20th century. After all of that hard-earned freedom, this country of over 40 million people wouldn't go down without a fight. To understand this a little better, it's worth tracing back through the past. Since the War of 1812, no nation has successfully invaded Canada. The country fought for its independence during this war but did not attain full sovereignty until 1982, following a long path toward self-governance. Canada's journey to nationhood took over 4 centuries, from European exploration in the 16th century to the establishment of Canada as an independent nation. Despite this, it's pretty clear that President Trump believes almost nothing is out of his reach. There's no doubt his plans are ambitious. While many call them delusional, others argue that he has what it takes to achieve them. So, why has he not made a move on Canada yet? Part of this reason comes from the intertwined past of the two countries. The United States and Canada have long been recognized as two powerful nations that, despite their distinct identities, work collaboratively across various domains, culturally, politically, and economically. This connection is reflected in the millions of dual citizens and the many families that line the border. Both countries fall into the 49% of nations in the world that allow dual citizenship. They cooperate closely on global security issues, including in Europe through NATO. Another key factor is that many countries would likely not allow this to happen. Canada's status as a member of the Commonwealth, along with its historical connections with countries like the UK, France, and Australia, strengthens its global alliances. Ultimately, the complexities of domestic policy, international relations, and public sentiment in both countries make annexation an unlikely event. Instead, the future may lie in continued cooperation between the US and Canada. However, with Trump having 4 more years to set things in motion, many Canadians are feeling uneasy about their future. So what about the worst places to live in Canada? But if you thought the tension ends there, think again. While an outright invasion may be unrealistic, economic dominance is another story altogether. The United States continues to exert heavy influence over Canadian industries, especially in sectors like energy, agriculture, and technology. Many Canadian companies are heavily reliant on U.S. investments and trade agreements to thrive. In fact, the trade war initiated under Trump saw Canada imposing retaliatory tariffs on a range of U.S. products, including steel, aluminum, and even consumer goods. This economic push and pull raises concerns about the long-term stability of their economic partnership. Moreover, Canada's vast natural resources remain a highly desirable asset for the United States. As global demand for oil, natural gas, and precious minerals continues to rise, Canada's resource-rich landscape could become a tempting target for stronger economic leverage. Yet, with Canada's firm stance on independence and powerful global alliances, the nation stands as a resilient partner, not an easy target. So while annexation might seem like a fantasy for some, the reality is far more complex. Canada and the U.S. will continue to maintain their cooperative yet independent relationship, navigating economic challenges and political tensions. For now, Canada remains proudly Canadian, a distinct independent nation that values its identity and sovereignty above all else. Subscribe to Adventure Chuckles for more insights on global affairs, politics, and untold stories that shape our world.